Hello, this is an M3EP class on inheritance. The features that we get from our mother and father or that are a result of our choices that we make in the environment. Remember from M1EP, the difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. Also, if it's blue, I need you to write it down in your notebook. So as you watch this video, gotta have your notebook out. It's important information. Take notes. Alright, so the picture on the left shows a couple different kinds of asexual reproduction. Okay, this is one parent with identical offspring, often called clones. So the top picture shows wild strawberry plant, and it reproduces. One way it reproduces is by having a runner come off from the side, and that sprouts roots, then leaves, and it will flower. So it can go through sexual reproduction with a flowering plant with flowers, but it can also go through asexual reproduction and make a clone, a copy of itself. As well as onions, they produce bulbs. You can take the bulb out of the ground and replant it someplace else. It stores carbohydrate, and it has the genetic information to make a copy of itself. Same thing with potato plants, except the reproductive part, the storage in the ground is called a tuber. There's another type of organism called hydra, and quite a few simple organisms reproduce by budding. They produce a copy of themselves. It comes off of the side, and then it pops off, and then you have a second organism. The type of asexual reproduction we learned about the most was just basic cell division. You can see a picture of it at the bottom. One cell, the nucleus divides, and then the one cell splits into two, and those two cells are called daughter cells. Those two can become 4, 4 become 8, 8 become 16, and so on. A lot of the cells in our body, in fact, all of the cells except for sperm cells or egg cells, go through asexual reproduction, cell division, making copies of themselves. Hair cells, skin cells, muscle cells, very good examples. Okay, fertilization. So we're done talking about asexual reproduction. We're now talking about sexual reproduction. We're going to start with plants. One slide, very quick, and we'll move into animals. In plants, the pollen grain nucleus joins with the egg cell nucleus. This causes genetic variation, differences. It could be the size of the flower, the color of the flower, the size of the fruit, the color of the fruit, how long the stem is, different shapes of the leaves, because half of the information is coming from the pollen grain and half is coming from the egg. So sexual reproduction in animals. There's a picture right there. Anybody know what these animals are? I'm pausing for you to take a guess. They are llamas. You know what country they're from? How about what continent? Probably better. North America. Famous people called the Incas domesticated them in Central and South America for milk, for fur, for meat. Okay, anyway. Sexual reproduction in animals. Two parents, the sex cells, sperm and egg, have pairs of chromosomes that match up after fertilization. And this causes genetic variation or differences. So we're going to go into where the chromosomes are in the next slides. We'll talk more about that. Okay, genes. Genes are the instructions for the features that a baby gets from its mother and father. Here's a picture of genes. So genes are dark on long chromosomes. Pause the video if I'm going too fast and you need to write this down. Where are genes stored? Okay, it's a cell. Take a guess. Stored in the nucleus. They are stored, the genes are on long chromosomes, and different sections of the chromosome have the genes. So there are 3 examples right there. Genes for big ears, genes for hair color, and genes for eye shape. Alright, so we're going to go from smallest to largest here. This is red blood cells. Inside of red blood cells are nuclei, plural. Nucleus, nuclei. Inside of the nucleus are the chromosomes, and the chromosomes have thousands, each chromosome has thousands of genes for those different features. And genes are made from a compound called DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA for short. Okay, so here it is again. Inside each cell is a nucleus. In humans, inside the nucleus, there are 46 chromosomes. Each chromosome contains thousands of genes. Chromosomes are made of a chemical called DNA. Fertilization. Sexual reproduction in us. Alright. The human egg and sperm cell contain 23 chromosomes each. This is a picture of what? Egg or sperm. And there's the other one. Okay, fertilization happens when the sperm nucleus joins with the egg nucleus. They form the first cell of a baby. The baby will have 23 chromosomes from mom and 23 from dad, making 46 in all. Okay, now this is the number 46 chromosomes for humans. Different animals have different numbers. And here is a picture of sperm. They're in a battle. Which one is going to fertilize the egg first? Because only one gets to fertilize the egg. Okay, boy or girl. Gender is a feature that is controlled by the father. There he is, kicking back on the chair with his remote control. And mom just made a nice cake. Okay, from the father, that's what I'm talking about. Father is going to provide sperm for fertilization, make offspring, and the father will contribute either an X or a Y gene, and the gene is for that feature that we call gender. Okay? So the mother, she can only give an X. So that's why it's controlled by the father. Now, this is the word alleles. Say it. Alleles. Practice it, okay? It's a tough one. Different forms of a gene like male or female. This could be hair color, okay? Brown, blonde, redhead. It could be the style of your hair, okay? If it's straight or curly. Many, many different things. Okay, so if the father gives an X and the mother gives an X, we get a boy or a girl. XX, girl. And XY, we get a boy. Alright, twins. We're going to talk about twins. And take a look at the picture. Many sets of twins. These are identical twins. When a fertilized egg splits into 2 embryos, both twins have the same genes and the same features. Okay? So it's one fertilized egg and pulls apart. They have the same genes and the same features. Okay, now we have twins, non-identical twins. Let's just quickly look at this picture. Okay, the definition is about twins too, but this is 3. We call it triplets. Okay, these pictures show non-identical triplets. This is very rare. So wombates, they all shared the same womb. They were in the uterus together. And you can see a picture of all 3 of these triplets when they were in the uterus, in the womb, developing. So here's the definition: non-identical twins. when there are two eggs at the same time and they are both fertilized by different sperm. The twins will have different genes and different features. Okay, variation. Variation is the difference in features between living things and of the same species. Okay, so there are 4 examples right there. Detached earlobes or attached earlobes, being left-handed or right-handed, normal vision or colorblind vision. Can't tell colors. All looks the same color. And dimples in the face or no dimples. Now there are 2 types of variation. We'll talk about inherited variation first, and then we'll talk about environmental variation. Inherited variation. Inherited variation, features that are controlled by our genes from our parents. Okay? Examples of these features are eye color, hair color, blood type, shape of the nose, dimples on the face, tongue rolling, detached earlobes, nearsightedness, and skin color, which is an example of both types of variation. There are quite a few features that are controlled by both inherited variation and environmental variation. Okay, so this is a pretty famous picture of finches from the Galapagos Island, and right away when you're looking at the picture you notice that they have a different shape in their beak. This is because they lived on different islands. They were separated by a lot of space, and they couldn't fly from island to island to meet other birds and reproduce. So on those islands they happened to have a food source, and that food source was different from island to island. So if it was a clam, some birds became really good at cracking open the clam. Or if it was worms in trees, burrowing into the trees, then some birds became really good at being able to reach into the tree, bark, and pull out the worm. So if you could eat, you could live, and if you couldn't eat, you died. So if you died out, your genes were gone from the gene pool. But if you lived, then you could reproduce, and if you had a beak that was good at getting food, then that there was a stronger chance, a greater chance that feature would get passed on to the offspring. So this is pretty famous from the work of a scientist named Charles Darwin and his theories of evolution. We'll learn more about that. Okay, environmental variation. Environmental variation, features that are controlled by our surroundings and choices that we make. Examples of these features are body weight due to diet and exercise, muscle size due to weightlifting, and skin color due to time out in the sun, which is an example of both types of variation. So I put that one on both of those slides. 2 pictures here. Obviously, the young man on the left decided to go on a fitness kick and did some strength training, and you can see that he has shed his extra fat, turned it into muscle, and that is a good example of environmental variation from choices that he's made. And the picture in the middle is a woman who did not like her skin color and decided to stay out for many hours in the sun. So she has darkened her skin color with exposure or time out in the sun. All right, so I think that might be the end of our lecture today. Yes. All right, so I'm going to say goodbye until we meet again. And make sure that you have copied all of these notes. Bye-bye.